Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the newest episode of the Waifu and the Weeb podcast. It is the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Weeb Marquand. And I guess I'm joined by my co-host.
The better half of us two. It's me, guys. It's the waifu. It's your girl. Hi. He's trash, so don't mind him.
I'm trash, and yet I'm hosting today's episode. Actually, I was forced to host this.
Okay,
because for those who aren't aware, this is a horror episode. So why is the Weeb hosting this?
Because you liked it. So I wanted you to talk about why you liked it. Lad?
I wouldn't say I liked it.
Oh. Only I can do that.
No, but today we're talking about a horror film. We wanted to mix it up with the anime and horror since she's a big horror fan. But yeah, today we're talking about 2021's Candyman, and I will say I did enjoy it. It was really good. It was better than what I thought it was going to be, but I didn't really have a lot of expectations going into it.
Right.
Because before we watched this one, I didn't see the first one all the way through, but we did go back and watch that one too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. And it's funny because I was never a big Candyman fan. Like, because I felt like, and this is my personal preference, just want to put that out there. My personal preference. And I know people like, oh, you just like people killing people. That's why I watch horror. But anywho, I just felt like it was too much story in the original one. It was like, when do we get to see him murder somebody?
It was too much build up,
yeah,
not enough
like,
payoff.
what is this? And it was always frustrating, so I never really went back and watched it. It was never like in my rotation the ones that I watched heavy, but I really liked how they did the reboot, even though it's not a reboot.
I'm curious, like who said it was a reboot? Because like
a lot of these pages, like when you look at it, it's like reboot.
Yeah,
reboot.
And I think it's because it's just called Candyman. It doesn't have like some kind of tag following that, like
it's like
a distinctor.
Didn't announce it as a sequel, but if you watch it, you see that it's a sequel.
You're
like, hold on.
But I feel like that's on the marketing team. I don't know if it was intentional that they were like, oh yeah, this is a sequel that we is masquerading as a reboot.
Well, I feel like a lot of people, like, especially like now, people are tired of the reboots, the requels, the sequels, all of that.
That's
like,
fair.
Everybody like, oh my goodness, get something original. So I feel like they would market it as that. If people would have been like, oh, here we go, they just trying to capitalize it.
But I mean,
it's not gonna be good. And
couldn't the same be said like with them saying it's a reboot? They just rehashing what was.
I mean, they never announced it as anything. They just said it was Candyman.
That's true.
It was everybody else who was putting extra words on it. They just said this
Candyman.
is Candyman. That's how they said.
That like the poster, like I wanted to see it in theaters because I like the cast, like the two leads. I think.
Yeah, I liked him in what was it with Shaolin? Shaolin Fantastic. What was it? Get on.
Get up. Get on. The Get Down.
Get down. There you go.
Get on.
Yeah, I like the Get on up. But yeah, I liked him in that. So.
And I forgot that he was even in that because I remembered him from Aquaman.
Yeah.
But after you had said that, oh yeah, he was in the Get Down, I was like, he sure was. That's bold. That show didn't. Yeah, that show didn't get enough shine. Unfortunately, I enjoyed it. I didn't finish it, but once I saw it got canceled, I was like, nah.
Yeah, because they killed everybody's character off.
See, that's why I don't want that.
No, like, that's not even good for their storyline. It doesn't make sense. What are you doing? Anyway.
Had to wrap things up, man. But yeah, both of the leads. Well, I'm not even gonna say just both of the leads. Like the cast did a really good job.
Yeah, they were really well.
Like Anthony's main character was named Anthony, and like his downward spiral into.
Oh yeah, it was glorious.
Spoilers, by the way, that we will be spoiling the movie.
Yeah, if nobody knows.
Yeah, but his downward spiral into becoming Candyman, like, just like it started so small. It was like a thing on his hand.
He got stung by a bee.
Yeah, and then it just started like stretching to everywhere. And when he was picking at it, I almost threw up because it was gross. Yeah. Like, I enjoyed this for the body horror aspects, but
I did not.
Yeah, she had to look away a few times when it got like really gruesome.
Yeah, when we got to like the end where he was like full on like about to change, his face had like, you know, them holes.
It's like honeycomb.
Like, didn't enjoy that. Cause like I have this thing with holes.
Like it was like XCOM. I'll probably put a picture on the screen so y'all can see what the cover looks like. Where it's like just a bunch of holes all over the body of the thing on
like,
the alien on the front.
Like tyophobia or something like that, where you like don't like holes. It's whatever.
You tyophobic?
Yeah, whatever that. If that's what it's called, that's what I am. I don't like it. It makes my skin crawl. I feel like it's in my skin. Then I gotta rip my skin off. Now I'm a body horror. So yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
I wouldn't be with you if you was ripping your skin off. I'm just be honest. That's gross.
Nobody should be with me. I should be in a institute with my hands wrapped over me like this. Absolutely.
You like clear?
Yeah.
Willingly going in.
That's what it does well, because like it does make you uncomfortable. And
yeah, throughout most of the movie.
Yeah, throughout most of the movie. A little bit uncomfortable, like
it was like I think you looked away at this point where you know he got the hook for a hand.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't watching that because it's just showing his
like
face.
it was his nub, and it showed like because he cut it off and then he just dug it in there. I was like, that almost made me turn away because that was
not his face though.
No, that didn't bother me that much.
For real?
I watched Parasite. Body horror don't really do much to me. I will say though, when he jammed that,
stop talking about the jam.
When he jammed that hook in there,
okay, his face, and then his arms look the same.
Yeah, it was like half of his body that was like that.
And you just over there. Like
this coming from the resident horror buff in the house.
I don't like body horror.
Like it.
No.
But yeah, they did a lot of social commentary like the first one because it's a sequel, so it ties into the ones that came before it. Mm-hmm. I think mainly the first one because I haven't seen the second or third one.
Yeah, no,
so
it's a direct sequel to the first one.
So they did it like Halloween then?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it was like just seeing Tony come back towards the end.
Yeah, and they was
as
like
Candyman,
his clips of his voice and stuff like that. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. I love when films like pay homage to the predecessors like that because it's a respect there when you not just outright just ripping them off,
right,
but you
right,
yeah, this came before, it ties into the story, but this is still its own thing. But for those who enjoyed the first one and know the lore of Candyman, you can be like, oh dang, that's the same actress. It's like they brought back the mom and she looked exactly the same.
Like, she's a vampire.
Like,
she's a witch. Burn her at the stake. She looks the exact same.
Witch.
Like it's just her locks are longer now.
Yep.
But I'm like, ma'am.
Like what is I was gonna say, what is her regimen? Because I need to get on that. But we all know black don't crack, so.
I mean, you seen Anthony. He was cracking.
Yeah.
He was a foot.
But I mean.
On the floor.
Because he's become a Candyman.
Okay, but he was cracking. So, I guess black does crack.
In some cases, huh? That was so gross, man. Like, just his strength. But when he actually, like, became Candyman and she, like, when she was calling on him, because at the end, we got this trash-ass cop who's trying to...
Who does what? The
trash-ass cops do. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good cops out there, but for the ones that are trash...
This is your story.
Yeah, because he was like, yeah, it's crazy that my partner had to come in and save you from the urban... hoodlum that was coming after you, right? He had no choice but to discharge his weapon.
And Anthony was on the ground already looking like he was in distress, and then they shot him.
He looked like he was dying.
So it's like, oh, okay. So she was like, oh my goodness. He was like, or we could say you were an accomplice,
right? And you going to jail for the rest of your life.
You want me to say if you let me see the mirror?
He was like, what? No, I'm not doing that. He was like, please, I will go along with whatever story you come up with. If I can just look in the mirror one last time.
He was like, all right. And
she was like, Candyman.
You wild as hell, ain't you?
I ain't looking at no mirror.
I mean, but How you know he not gonna say like that?
Okay, I'm not gonna say it 5 times.
Okay. You might as well just say his name.
We don't play like that around here though.
Wow, is he
But
gonna come up here?
yeah, she said his name the 5 times, and he just all you heard in the background was just bing bing bing. They tried to shoot him, and he just killing it with his hook.
I was
And
like,
then you see them. I think one of them like came out of the building, and then he got him when he came out, and I was like.
My man's in the car was shook. He was, oh.
Like, what's going on? What's going on? And then he just came up to the side of the car with Brianna in the back, and he was just, well, let me go murk this cop though. Like, I was like, please don't kill her, bro. She called you. Like, but then I thought he was gonna be like, be my victim. Oh. I love that part of the original because like I've been saying it ever since we watched it, and it's fun, man. Like Candyman would just go around in the original. It was Helen, was the reincarnation of like the original Candyman's wife or who he was in love with. Yeah, and he wanted.
It was like the 1800s. So
yeah,
interracial relationships were non-existent.
Yeah, and that's where the first Candyman happened. Where because the original Candyman was going around painting like well off.
He was a savant.
Yeah. He was painting well-off, doing portraits of well-off people in the community, like nobility and stuff like that. And then he fell in love with one of the client's daughters, but she was a white woman and he was a black guy. And that didn't really.
Yeah, that wasn't really the jam back then.
Yeah. So
she had got pregnant. Then she told her dad, and her dad was like, "Oh no!" So he had got a mob. Yep. And then the mob had tortured him. So they brutally tortured him. They cut off his arm, put a hook there. That's how we got the hook. Yep. Then they had opened them up and then put a whole bunch of bees in them. So I was like, bruh. Stung to death. It was wild.
And then they burned them.
Yep. Then they burned them.
So that was the original iteration of Candyman, and then just like for every new generation, it was a new Candyman that the urban communities attributed to like their lot in life. So that the reason that they was living in projects and the reason stuff wasn't going good is we gotta worry about Candyman. Yep. And that was like that social commentary was like it was very before its time with the original, but it ties into now so well. And just like seeing like how gentrification affects communities, how racism affects communities, how police brutality affects communities. It's just like they did it so well without it being overbearing. Because we've seen countless times the plight of black people, and it's just in your like we know. It's like we live this.
We get it. We just want to have fun,
right?
And watch this movie. But yeah, I do appreciate how they did it. But it's funny because like when I was reading about it, it's like I think one of the executives or whatever, he didn't want to do the first Candyman
because he was scared of backlash.
Yeah, no backlash really happened, but he was like, I stand by my decision to not really want this movie because it's not a movie I think Spike Lee will like. I was like,
that was funny. That was the justification.
I was like, what? I was like, that's the tier. Like all.
And hot take, I don't really care for Spike Lee joints. So
if Spike Lee don't like it, none of the black people like it. Like I was like,
so
okay.
He's not the mouthpiece for me.
Also, though, did you know Eddie Murphy was supposed to play Candyman?
I wouldn't have believed that. Like, be my victim. Like, it's not scary. Like Tony Todd is imposing.
Yeah, that man.
Like when you seen him show, he was just posted up in the background when he first, like halfway into the movie. He decided to show up, and I was like, bruh, it's been 45 minutes. The original. Yeah, because in the original, we sat through like legit half the movie. We saw flashes of him, but like he didn't show up in the real world until 45 minutes in.
And I'm like, 45 minutes. He does not interact with Helen after she said his name 5 times. Nobody gets interacted with until 45 minutes, where he like be my victim, and then he not even talking.
Be my
it's like
victim.
some type of like mind control thing.
Yeah, it's telepathy.
He like,
yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I almost laughed when that came. He was,
and I'm like, he gonna have to kill me
because I'm laughing at you. But I don't know if it was like painful or whatever for him to be in her mind like that, because you saw how she was acting. Mm-hmm. And this is the original from the 90s,
yeah,
but
it probably was, because I mean, it seemed like he was like taking over, like because she was his victim. So I guess, yeah.
And the whole "be my victim" thing is just so they can be immortalized, so they can still have a hold on the public psyche, and because he needs his congregation of believers so he can maintain his power in the real world.
Yeah, she was going around telling people Candyman wasn't real. And
right.
That's when he showed up. Is when she started telling the little kid he wasn't real.
Yeah, he started losing believers. He started losing his power. Like, no, they need to believe in me because it's atrocities going on out here, and I'm the only one who can stop them. But I need people to be scared of me. He like Pennywise. You need to fear him for him to be strong. And like the 2021 Candyman, we hit the ground running pretty much. Yeah, you see Candyman show up very early on, and I'm pretty sure Tony Todd was at the beginning of the movie. Yeah. They didn't show his face, and then it was just this tall black dude in a coat walking away from the cops after they questioned him. It was definitely Tony Todd. And if it wasn't, it was. That's my headcanon. But the kills in the new one, bruh, like I'm thinking this Candyman could have gave Mike a run for his money, and we know how brutal Mike get. You don't think so?
No.
Oh, you think Michael more brutal than him?
Yes.
Really?
What made him more brutal?
I mean,
what'd he do?
He was burning people.
Okay. Michael be crushing people's skulls.
That's true.
With his hands.
Yeah, never mind. You right.
You wild.
It was still brutal though.
He just stomped somebody's face.
Candyman just got his hook.
He be like, boom. I'm like, dang.
Candyman just got his hook, but it was still brutal though.
You know, it was still brutal. I still give him like high brutality points. It's just I don't see him being more brutal than Mike. Especially the area they going, because they just keep making him more brutal. I'm like, God,
he killing animals and kids now. Like,
I gotta watch them, bro. There's something wrong with him.
But yeah, it's like because the main reason I like horror is not so much that I like being scared. It's just I don't know why I like horror. I like seeing people get murked. That's always fun.
Watch it.
Yeah, I don't have the stomach to actually kill somebody. I don't like seeing blood or bodily fluids and all that come out when you kill somebody.
How
like,
you gonna be a nurse? You're an idiot. You know what?
What happened?
You were going to be a nurse.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to be a private nurse.
Don't matter.
If I care about the person, it don't bother me as much. But, like, working in a hospital.
You're going to care about every client you had. Because I had a racist client before. And
do nurses take the Hippocratic Oath?
Yes.
Oh, dang. Yeah, it's probably good I ain't go that way then. Man. I feel like if you being racist to me, you sick then.
Oh,
man. I'm sorry. Not really.
My man put his teeth in my hand.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
I was about to go home.
And you and spit don't go well together.
I was like,
I'm out.
My boy.
Well, yeah. The kills in this was they were pretty brutal, but just like again going back to Anthony's descent, it's just like nobody believed him. But like I will say, they did black people in horror movies really well because a lot of them was just like, nope, not dealing with that. They'll run or go the opposite way. They won't go searching for the noise, the source of the noise if they hear something. And like, but my whole thing is when Anthony was becoming Candyman basically, and Brianna saw how off he was acting, she didn't pay attention to his arm.
Yeah, because, like, I look at you,
yeah.
And if you a little ashy, I'm like, yo, X, I'm acting up. You might need to go put on something. Go get
some cream or something. But, like, even just the sting.
Yeah, she ain't take him to the hospital.
Right.
She's like, oh, that looked bad.
And then when he went to the hospital, he just left. after.
I mean, you can like you don't. They not required to keep you there if you don't want to, unless you a danger to yourself
or others.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would have been like, yeah, you can't go nowhere, bro.
I'm like, this look like it's a danger to our health.
This is gonna start the new pandemic.
It's you.
Is it?
You are patient zero. We gotta quarantine you. Something.
It's that honeycomb hand, bro. You gotta do something.
Imagine if we all was out here like that. Like that. Was
I don't want to. That's making me itch.
I promise to God, I would be in the house. Y'all would never see me again.
If I saw any news stories,
I'm like,
Florida man.
Filter feed.
Florida man has honeycomb hand. It's like it looks highly contagious. Florida man on the rise. He's striking.
Florida man is. Anybody come near me with it? They're like,
it looked gross, man. It just got progressively worse. You not praying away the honeycomb man?
I ain't coming near. She's like, I got a little piece of it, girl. You
better deal with that little piece on your own. Yeah, it was really good though. They did a lot well. I can't really find any like gripes with the movie. Maybe like Brianna's reaction to him, because I remember when he was like starting to go crazy because of him becoming Candyman or whatever. Like he broke a mirror.
I mean, but that show aggression.
Yeah,
like, I feel like that too. But I'm like,
I mean, she did see him painting like these horrific things, and so you can see his state of mind was like
and she
dark.
Also been seeing him like spiraling from the happy
guy
he was.
He's like a complete 180.
So it's like he breaking glass. I don't know if he'd hit me.
But like, if he ain't ever hit you though.
But I mean, he been spiraling.
I was gonna say he a whole different person now.
Real quick.
But like, that still irritated me. That she was just like, get out of my house. She was like, you don't want to, like, I don't know, try to get him some help or anything.
He can get help on his own.
I mean,
you going around breaking mirrors? You think you not getting out?
Why am I going around breaking mirrors? I can get hurt breaking the mirror. The shark can come stab me in the eye or something.
Okay. He didn't care about that.
That's true. I mean, he was trying to protect her.
She didn't know that.
Because she didn't listen to him.
She didn't believe that. Who gonna believe that man is real? Who gonna believe Candyman?
Me. Real? Everything exists. Everything. I believe it all.
Okay, you're Brianna. She's like a art curator.
Hmm? She don't believe in the boogeyman?
Did it look like she believed in the boogeyman?
No, but like, believe in it.
And then even then, like, you could tell like they spiritual in some form. Because her brother was like, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
We ain't doing that. His boyfriend.
Like, it's so weird, right? It's so weird that Anthony did it, being a black man, and most black people don't. I can't even say that.
I mean, it was for his art, though.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, when he was joking around in the house, that wasn't for his art. He was just joking around.
I mean, he was like getting into the urban legend of it.
Nah, bro.
He like you know what? It'd be cool if it was this, blah blah blah.
Still would have had to miss me with it.
No, for sure. Because my man's was back there. I was like. Y'all see that? Y'all don't see that?
Yeah, they handled him like being in the Mirrorverse thing really well. Like, because you could only see him in the mirrors, but you could see how he was affecting the world in real time, even if you couldn't see him.
Yeah.
And like when he was doing the killing inside the exhibit area, like that was terrifying.
Yeah, I was like, sorry to that man. You did.
And what's up with people like trying to have sex while they saying Candyman? That's not.
Yeah, that's not cute.
I don't get it.
Hey.
Like, does it happen in the original, and then it happened in this one? I was like, is that a turn on for people? Like, I mean, I know like we wouldn't be saying Candyman anyway.
I mean, you seen how they look. Who was doing it?
Yeah,
it wasn't
true.
like Anthony and Brianna was doing it.
Yeah, and it just weirded me out that it was like, oh yeah, let's say this possible serial killer's name so he can appear while we're having sex.
Murdering people.
Yeah, but like if you don't believe in him, he not really killing people. So, but if you did believe in him, he's a serial killer, a supernatural serial killer. He out here murking people, dropping bodies.
Okay.
What happened?
Okay.
Making people his victims.
Okay.
I'm just saying, man. I really enjoyed this though. They did everything so well. The actor performance is really good. The sound design, like, I don't know how, like I don't know what their title is, but the people who, like the composers, the people who do the music, like background music, you didn't really hear a lot of like, ooh, this is the scary build up to the jump scare. It wasn't a lot of that done in this. I don't remember it being done, honestly, but I appreciated that because people try to do the reverse jump scare where they use the music to build up and then they about to close something and you just imagine the killer there. But they make the build up so obvious. And then when they don't do it, like, oh, yeah, we saw that coming. And now this next scene is when the killer gonna show up. We see that coming too. Yeah. But when they don't do the build up thing,
the first
the tension
and I was like the Candyman's did do that. I didn't see the second or third one, but the first one and this one it did do a good job of that because although we didn't see him for 45 minutes, it was still tense. Like, hold on,
yeah.
Where you come from? No, hold on. And it was like that with the newer one too. So I did appreciate that because them jump scares you just be like, oh, okay, here you go, we about to get a jump scare.
It was one jump scare in Candyman, the new one, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was when he was at that critic's apartment, and then Candyman just like he just showed up, or he was in the background. It wasn't a jump scare per se, but you could see him. And I was like, that was creepy as shit.
Oh, like when he was like in the
and then he just went up. I was like,
he's like, hello, and then he got out of the frame.
I was like, that's how you do horror. Like a lot of, and you know this, but a lot of like modern horror is just jump scares and gore porn, basically, where they want to go off shock value, and that's horror, or they just throw supernatural stuff into it. And granted, Candyman is supernatural, but this is like demons, like, possession, horror, like
demons, devil. Got it.
It's like, you know, it's other evil entities other than the devil, right? It's like, if y'all want to go supernatural, that's fine. Do something different. Right. You can do a chupacabra for all I care. It's not the devil. Okay. I run from a chupacabra, just so y'all know.
Clearly.
Listen, any supernatural creature, I'm doing, unless it's a vampire. Because vampires are pretty cool. I like vampires. There will be an episode where I cover all of the Twilight movies because it is considered horror by some. So just
Did we walk past this? Did you run this by me?
I'll be doing an episode on the Twilight franchise, one of the best franchises to ever exist in the history of cinema.
We might as well watch the whole Harry Potter series. That's considered horror, probably.
There's some nasty looking stuff in there. They not that long. They're like an hour and a half.
You want to watch all of them? Ain't it like 8?
It's 5. They broke the last one up into 2 parts. You got Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2. It's 5, and then the last one is the shortest one. Oddly enough.
Oh, okay. Is it 30 minutes long?
We watching them. Just keep your peepers peeled for that. It's Twilight.
I'm reading this little article. Did you know Sandra Bullock was if Virginia couldn't do Helen?
She was gonna be playing Helen.
Imagine if they had the budget for Eddie Murphy and this would have been a whole different movie.
I was gonna say I wouldn't have seen it performing the way it did or landing the way it did with those two as the leads.
Like it would have been there, like money wise, probably because people that was at the height of their careers, but. I'm not seeing a
Eddie Murphy, Sandra Bullock, Candyman. I'm just be out there. Like I can't buy him. Apparently the studio couldn't buy him either. But I can't buy Eddie Murphy as Candyman. Like it wouldn't work. And then this propelled. I don't really know what he did before this, but it propelled Tony into like a horror icon. Yeah. And if he didn't want to do horror the rest of his life, tough luck, because you here, buddy. Like,
I feel so bad for him, because like if you look at like his IMDb row, it's just all this horror.
Filmography is full of horror. Like,
and it's like other stuff like sprinkled in there, but it's not as much as horror. And then it's like some of it's like D-list horror, and I'm like, he is Candyman. Y'all shouldn't be treating him like this. Give him big roles. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair, because he was in the Final Destination movies, and he was creepy as shit in those.
Yeah. That little laugh he did, he was like when he was talking to JJ. And then she was like, how do you know my name? And he did that little laugh.
Like, it's just everything about him. Like, honestly, if you replaced a lot of the horror icons with Tony Todd, I feel like that would up the scary factor. Like, it wouldn't work.
Like, he's 6'5", he's imposing as hell.
It's like some of it wouldn't work. Like Pennywise, I don't know if it, like, because the two they got to play him in the original, like the miniseries, and then the two remakes, because Bill, terrifying.
Yeah.
And what was his Tim Curry? Yeah, he looked like a clown that could exist. Like Bill's Pennywise didn't. But we'll talk about that when we do it. But
we gotta watch it.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, if you replaced Tony Todd with a lot of the horror, I feel like it would work better because dude is creepy, man, and I love him, but dude is creepy,
very creepy,
and it works so well with him being in horror. That's why he's in so many horror movies, and it's like anytime he pops on screen, you did it.
He was in Hatchet, love that. Gonna talk about that, of course, but he was in that, and I was like, absolutely,
yep.
You
just believe it when you see him. That's like saying Willem Dafoe not the villain in your movie if you put Willem Dafoe in your movie.
And like when you say Aquaman, we know they say he's not the villain. He is. He's pulling all the strings. You can't tell me different. You see his face? You see him as Ryuk?
Yeah, Willem is terrifying.
Right.
That's why I can't wait for Death Note 2 just to see more of Willem's Ryuk.
We don't care about your opinions. Have you seen him as Ryuk?
Right.
That's literally the best part of that movie.
I don't even know if I would. I mean, with him in there, yeah, I would consider it horror. Because a lot of people consider Death Note horror. Just
Green
the manga itself.
Yeah.
He just brings an element of horror no matter what he's in.
Because that smile.
Yeah, it's so creepy.
It's really scary.
He's so good of an actor too, but he's just so terrifying.
Yeah.
No matter what he's doing, he could be the nicest person ever. He could be the philanthropist billionaire that's saving the world, and you like, no, he's destroying something in the shadows.
He's a super villain.
He's doing all this to keep y'all eyes off of the shady stuff he's doing. It's just like he the Green Goblin. Yeah, I love Willem though. Like, I need Tony, Willem, and Robert Englund. And like I know Tony don't like the whole team up versus.
I mean, I don't know
movies.
He didn't like it. It's just
because they were gonna do. You can say it since you found it.
Yeah. So apparently, because of the success of Freddy versus Jason, there was a studio who was gonna do Candyman versus Leprechaun, and Tony Todd was like, nah.
It's like, I'm never doing anything like
I'm
that.
Never doing that. It was a bad script. Like, so that's why he was doing, because it was a bad script. Like, you don't present somebody that idea. Like, it's not even good fleshed out. Like, I would see Leprechaun and Chucky.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Candyman and him doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you said it, but like, how would they meet? What would be the purpose of their meeting?
Are they Leprechaun say Candyman a couple times? Like,
and now Candyman out to kill him?
Like, how did he summon him? Like,
right.
How did Leprechaun find out about it?
Or, I mean, one way it could have worked was, like, say it's a Leprechaun movie, and they did whatever they do to get the Leprechaun to go after him, right? Mm-hmm. But then it was like, oh yeah, did y'all hear? Like, before they realized Leprechaun is after him, and it'd be like early on in the movie where they'd be like, hey, did y'all hear about this urban legend? If you say his name 5 times in the mirror, he'll come for you.
So they gonna do it how Freddy vs. Jason was?
Pretty much. But that's exactly why Tony wasn't doing it.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb. Like, I get that, like, Leprechaun was super popular and Candyman was super popular. Freaking Critical Darling. It's a hood classic, basically, now. Yeah. And it's a cult classic as well. But it's just like that. I don't even see... there's no allure for me to see Candyman versus Leprechaun. Like, it's not. That's stupid. You got this towering, massive.
But I would have been like, nah, I'm alright.
Candyman kicking him, bro.
Yeah, he going back to the mirror world, because what is Leprechaun gonna do? He can literally just disappear.
He can kill you from the mirror world.
Yeah,
like, it don't.
You don't. And then Leprechaun is a super. He just want his gold.
Yeah.
You have to touch his gold.
Candyman don't even care about worldly possessions, bro.
Like, he just trying to get his girl.
Yeah.
Like,
what is? Be my victim.
Okay.
All right. It's a cool tagline.
No.
All right, bro. This is a hating that's going on over here.
I'm looking up things about this movie.
Nah, whatever, man.
It is a lot of interesting facts.
Is it?
Yeah. He negotiated a bonus of $1,000 for each bee sting he got.
I mean,
he got 23 bee stings.
That's a nice little bonus. But like, Tony better than me, cause like, no, I'm not getting stung by bees.
They had to.
I hate bees.
They had to hypnotize him and Helen for real, because like it was like that scene where he put the bees in her mouth. That was 500 bees that they had to put in his real mouth. They had to put a mouthpiece in his mouth, and he had to put them in his mouth, put them in her mouth, and she's allergic to bee stings, so they had to get a specific type of bee that didn't sting, so they can put it in her mouth. And so they had to hypnotize him.
I was gonna say, you allergic to bees and you doing a movie where the villain is full of bees. That just...
Yeah, they had to use a specific... Like, when she was on set, they had to use a specific bee that wouldn't
Bro, it would have been bold if they mixed up the bees one day.
Imagine, like,
she just up here like Hitch.
Tired one day.
Yeah. It's like, hey, yo, let me get canister 2, man. That's the non-allergic bees for for Helen, right? Yeah, nah, it's canister 3, bro. He was like, huh? The bees already on set. They in her mouth, bro. It's like, I wasn't here today. Like Jim, get back here.
he goes to the mirror world now. He's Candyman. Like,
he made her his victim, man.
But yeah, so they had to hypnotize her. So that
is bold.
They wouldn't be too scared of her.
So hypnosis actually works, huh?
Yeah. So he had to said every time that scene was over, he felt like he was coming out of a trance, because he technically was.
I didn't know that. That's some in-depth stuff, man. Like just knowing that those were real bees in real people's mouths. Yep. No, I'm not doing that.
I mean, but you've seen the effects they had on there.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford fake.
Yeah. It would have been like, what is it, the Wicker Man? It's the bees with Cage Classic.
I ain't never seen that.
I mean, I haven't either, but you seen the clip, right?
Let's see if I've seen the clip.
Yeah, I think you have. But it's just like a bunch of like fake bees, and it's so obvious that they fake. And he just like, oh, the bees, not the bees. And it just looks so bad. Make sure you mute it so we don't get won't get flagged. But yeah, it's like that. That's how I feel like it would have gone. You remember seeing it?
No.
Oh, well, it's just really bad CGI. I've never actually seen Wicker Man, and I probably won't, even though it's a Cage classic. For those who don't know, all of Nicolas Cage's movies are considered Cage classics in my eyes. Well, nobody doesn't agree, but we all know her opinion doesn't matter. So, all of Nicolas Cage's movies, Cage classics. She's watching the Wicker Man bee scene. It's just like I don't understand.
That movie came out in 1992, and they had real bees on his face. Okay, it made me itch.
Yeah, I mean, you think Nicolas Cage is gonna let them put real bees on his face?
What do he do that he couldn't get real bees on his face?
He's Nicolas Cage. What's the respect of my man's name?
I mean, I have to, because he Jim Carrey's best
Exactly.
friend. But
you think Jim gonna let Nick do that?
I don't care.
She don't like Nicolas Cage.
Jim literally broke his tooth for Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
Because he felt like that was more authentic to
Nick
the
is
scene.
Nick
He
is in
really
Jim.
beat himself up
Nick is in Jim.
Liar Liar because he felt like that was more authentic to the scene.
Nicolas Cage is not Jim Carrey.
His face don't already look like he got stung by a lot of bees. He's a walking bee sting. How would that gonna hurt him?
Because it's bees stinging him. It would literally hurt him. You see, you never gotten stung by a bee, so you don't understand the pain of getting stung by bees. Yeah, I'm not being with you when you Candyman.
They always come near you, but they never sting me.
But Candyman got stung.
It's like
23 times.
It's like, that's Tony Todd, not Candyman.
Tony Todd is Candyman.
No, he's death.
He Candyman.
He's death.
He Candyman. Tony, if you listening, thank you for listening.
Why would he listen to you? Listen to me.
Yeah, I love Tony Todd, man. He like Willem, man. You can't believe that they not the bad guy in whatever movie they in. Like, I love horror, man. It's so good when it's not scaring me, keeping me up at night.
And I was like, he did it. I knew he wasn't the killer because it was too early for the killer. Criminal Minds. It was too early for the killer to be
on screen.
But I was like, he did it.
It was him.
He did it.
It was me, Dio. But yeah, like it's funny because these few like horror movies that we've watched so far, they don't keep me up at night. So, but they still effective as horror movies. So it works for me. Mm-hmm. When we watch Halloween, the Halloween franchise,
we're watching it at night, guys.
We not, because I'm not sleeping. Like
that's what you. I'm just like a baby.
I am aware because you are a psychopath.
I feel like that's slander.
You can feel however you want. Feel however you want. Facts are facts.
It's not a fact. Just because you say it's not a fact.
It's a fact.
I can say I'm 6'5" like Tony Todd. Is that a fact?
If you believe it, absolutely.
Okay, I'm 6'5".
Reality is perception.
Okay.
And perception is reality.
You just spewing dumb shit.
Absolutely.
Because your lips can move.
Yes. It's my whole thing.
Shut up.
All right, bro. Well, all in all, I did enjoy Candyman. Out of 10, I think I would give it a solid 9.
Why can't
No, it's a 10.
I was like, why didn't
It's a 10. It's just that Brianna thing, man. It really irritated me.
I mean,
and then seeing, like, I know they did it because it's horrible. Like, just seeing him jam that hook, like the whole Brianna thing, I'm over that because it makes sense. But like the hook thing, like you really had to show.
His
like,
face was a honeycomb.
That's like showing people throwing up on screen. You don't need to show that. We know he got a hook up.
His face was a honeycomb.
It wasn't just his
they
face.
Showed that.
It wasn't just his face. It was his whole.
I know what it was. But I'm trying not to think about that because I can see that.
It was just just everywhere, bro. Just this whole side of your body just honeycomb.
I hope you have a dream of somebody jam a hook in your arm.
I'm good.
Yeah, you over there scratching that.
Would you give it a 10 too? Because I'm easy to please, so it was a 10 for me.
I feel like it was, since it was a direct sequel, I'll give it a 8.
Why not a full 10?
Because I didn't like the first one.
But I mean,
it's a direct sequel to the first one.
So
overall, I'm
grade the sequel on its own.
So on its own, I'll give it a 9.
Why not a 10?
I don't know.
Give it a 10.
No.
Give it a 10.
You gotta work a little hard to please me.
Okay.
That's what people on Amazon be doing. You know that? They're like, oh, I don't want to give 5 stars because you just can't give 5 stars.
I give 5 stars all the time if I enjoyed it.
Why? You said they had nothing bad to do. I have nothing bad to say. I love it. They're like, but I just don't give 5 stars out for everything. I'm like, this seems like this would be.
Then what do you give it out for if everything was perfect?
Like, oh, I'm gonna come back. Oh, I love it. I was like, wow, what would be 5 stars then? Like. Do they have to come fly to you?
And then it's something dumb that they give 5 stars. It's The Room.
Nope.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa. That's their 5 out of 5.
Just why? But no, I would give it a 10.
That movie is glorious.
It's just the first. I don't know. I just didn't like because.
Just as a whole for the...
Yeah, like, he is such an imposing force. And I really feel like they underutilized him.
Yeah, in the first one, especially in the first one they did. But in the second one, they did really well. But the first one they dropped... I mean, it was like... I don't want to say it was the first of its kind, but...
Like, I feel like it could have... Like, how the second one is, like, they could have tied it in more with seeing him and stuff like that. Because there was a lot of people saying his name in the mirror.
Yeah.
And he was not showing up. And then
but in the new one, didn't like the critics say, "Oh wait, no, he murked her after Anthony left." Never mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was already in the.
He was smearing her on her window.
He was reverse washing her window.
And you see it's nothing happening. You just see.
Like that, I can say like that was done really well in comparison to the first. Because I mean, of course, the first one don't have like the technical know-how, the budget that the sequel does, but. The way the murders played out in the real world was freaking terrifying in its own right because you just imagine you seeing this just like because in the art gallery when my man was like, is this real when Candyman was slitting her throat and I was like, I mean, yes,
the other side is like, yikes.
And then he took way too long to run for me.
Oh yeah, as soon as I seen there was somebody else there, I'm out.
Yeah, like it was just y'all two.
For me, nothing.
And see, that's what I loved about the black characters in this, because like in most horror movies, if we're being completely honest, the black people either always die first, or they always die first, doing dumb stuff with the other characters. But like in this one, you got to see exactly how, in my opinion, black people would act in a horror-centric situation, where Brianna was like, yeah, nah, I'm out. Her brother, you know what? Just going off that tangent for a bit. Like her brother with his boyfriend, I loved like how it's just common, or it's just like unstated that they're a gay couple in love, and you don't have to be like, yeah, we're gay guys. This is the main point of the movie. It was like gay people exist. Yeah. They have relationships like normal people. Are. Like it's a normal thing. And then you just like in some movies they make this whole production about having a gay friend who's in a relationship, but in Candyman it's just like, yeah, they just there. It's like normal people. Yes.
Go introduce you to my family.
Right.
Hope you like my sister. It's just really just that.
It's so well done.
It just
like
is.
It's just another relationship, because that's what it is. And I enjoyed that because both of them are hilarious. Like him, like I can't remember his name. Because Brianna, I think her brother's name was Troy, and I think his name was Joshua. But anytime either one of them showed up on screen, like they were basically the comic relief. But at the same time, they also had agency as characters, where they were just like, yeah, no, we not. Our lives don't revolve around everything that's going on with Anthony, but everything that's going on with Anthony is crazy, because he's crazy.
We got Grady and Troy.
Oh, so it was Troy. I don't know where I got Joshua from.
Brianna's brother is Troy, and his boyfriend was Grady.
Okay. Yeah, Grady was the one who was trying to say his name, and Troy was like, well, we don't do that. Anthony was the outlier because he was destined to become Candyman. Like,
right, because he was the baby that he stole.
And I think she went back on her word trying to leave. So remember Helen, she tried to leave, and that's what made Candyman.
It was that white savior complex.
Yeah, trying to do everything herself. He was like, nah, I'm gonna save this baby. He already said he was.
You wasn't gonna spare that baby.
I know, but when she started to try to leave, that's when I feel like that's when he decided, like, we both dying, but I'm taking the baby with me. Or you think he was just gonna do it anyway?
I think he was gonna do it anyway, because that baby was in there.
I mean, he also had supernatural powers. He was just like force pushed him out like he was on Star Wars or something.
Nah, because remember he was trying to hold her there, and he was like, we have to go. That baby was gonna die.
That's true. But like, why make the deal then?
But
he a troll, bro. He a troll.
Yeah, that's what like one of the comments I read, it was like, he's like you can sympathize with him a little bit, but he's still a villain.
I mean, I guess, yeah, he's definitely an outright villain. Was he done wrong? Absolutely. But he's not an anti-hero. He's not a good guy down on his luck.
Nope.
He's an outright murderer. He's a serial killer. Yeah. He's an absolute villain. But I still enjoyed him. Like, I don't enjoy the first one as much as the sequel, but that's just because he took so long to show up. And the movie is called Candyman. Show me Candyman. Like
they were just showing so much about Helen and why she was doing it, and then she was pissing me off because like she had a black friend who like, girl, we don't need to be going to Cabrini Green. And
then she climbing through walls.
If your friend who is black is saying, let's not go to the hood because this ain't a good place, like this hood is not where we should be, maybe, I don't know, just write the story. You don't gotta go like look for it. Just write it. It's enough lore out there. You can talk to people.
Yeah,
you trying to go to
because that's what she was doing. She was doing interviews and stuff. So I don't see why she didn't just. I don't know. It just seemed like.
Yeah. Then now you going to climbing in walls.
Now you did
in this decrepit place. She beheaded a Rottweiler. Like it's
Bro, when I saw that, I was like, not the furry baby boy. Like he was a big boy, but like, why you had to kill the dog, bro? That just made me not sympathize with her at all after that.
I mean,
once
she
seen
didn't do it. Candyman.
I know, but still, Candyman out here murking dogs too.
I was just like, dang, bro, like we didn't even get to see that. Like even like you being in the house to do it, like we just see her with the victim. And then she in the trance, and now she's back at the girl house, and I'm just like, what?
I mean, it was a product of his time, so maybe he didn't want to have like the black guy like going around like actually showing him killing everybody. I mean, that's the only reason I can think of it. Not apart from them not having the budget to show you cutting off a Rottweiler head.
That's fair. That's fair. I just feel like it was just a lot that could have been done. Like even if you don't want to show him a lot, like he could have been sprinkled in a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I would have very much preferred that.
A lot of mirrors.
Yeah, and it was like it would have been super creepy if you just saw him following Helen through whatever mirrors she was near, and that one scene that let you know what was going on, like kind of when Anthony was in the bathroom and his reflection stopped, but he was still moving. That was creepy as shit. Like,
it was very subtle too.
Yeah, I was like, did he stop moving?
Yeah, we had to pause it. We was like, hold on.
Yeah, we rewound it a couple times just to make sure we wasn't seeing stuff, but it was small stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like that's how you do horror. Like,
but
yo,
I think I'm being too hard on it because we have better.
Yeah, everything we have now is better, like film wise, technologically speaking.
A lot of horror like that back there, so
and it was considered groundbreaking at the time.
So. They were doing the best they could with, the tools they had at the time. So it's a 10 of a franchise, but I just wish that they had better writers and visions back then. But it was good for what it was.
So we got 10 severed hands out of 10.
No, I'm still gonna give it an 8.
Trash.
I'm being too nice.
She trash, bro.
I'm being too nice. Cause if I'm gonna get out of 10, then what else gonna get a 10?
Halloween.
I might as well give the new Chucky a 10.
I don't think I would give the new Chucky a 10.
Exactly. So if I'm gonna be too nice with this,
that has nothing to do with anything else.
It does. Like I can't be too nice. I gotta stick to my guns.
Hey, stick to your guns. I'll be the nice
8
one.
out of 10.
Okay. I mean, I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna be the nice one because we both know that's not true. But
I mean, people say it's true.
I don't know why.
Because I think you're nicer than me.
That could be it. I don't know. My family be like, "Dang, bro, you an asshole."
That's because I never talk around your family. Though.
That's true, bro. That's true.
That's my family be like, "He's so nice."
I'll be like, "Thank you."
Trash, not but.
It'd be the complete opposite with me.
So I just be, "Hey guys."
Yep.
Have a really, really solid voice going on. People don't know. I hate people sometimes.
I like animals more than people, but we both know that. We both do, honestly. But yeah, so I mean, I gave it 10 out of 10. You gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
Absolutely.
That's my peak. Like it's not like 8 is bad or anything. It's just,
I mean, 8 is still 80% out of 100.
Yeah, like 8 for me is like I still recommend it. It was just some things that my personal taste I would have liked to see more or not enough of or stuff like that. But overall, it was a solid watch. And the newer one is actually a 10. But as a whole, it's an 8 out of 10.
I know that's a hot take because people did not like it.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's a direct sequel.
Yeah, I don't get what people are looking for when it comes to, like...
I think maybe the racial undertones.
Yeah, I was going to say, and it's not even like being, it's black against everything. But I honestly feel like if we had another white lead, it would have been received better. But it works because that's how black people would react in a horror movie, in my opinion. Like Nia, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but the director, she did her thing, man. She did her thing, and
like Jordan on the writing, her on the directing, they did a really phenomenal job.
Yeah,
with it. Like it was.
I would definitely recommend it. Even if you haven't seen the first one, I feel like this can be like you miss some of the references and the homage that it pays to the original. But you can still go into this because we didn't watch the original until after we watched.
Because I forgot a lot about the original. So when I seen it again, I was like, "Oh, that was in oh, that's what they did. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because
And it ties in so well.
The sequence he says at the end when he begins to show Tony's hide, like that he said that in the first one. So I was like, oh, yeah,
that's where it came from. Yeah.
It's like Peter Griffin, like
But like yes, at the end when because there was a scene where Candyman is shown as Anthony, and then it regresses into the previous versions of the previous iterations of Candyman, back to Tony's version, and I was like, it was so well done, and that's how you pay homage to stuff. It don't have to be overbearing, it don't have to be heavy handed. It's just the small stuff.
Yep, and he was like, "Tell my story."
Yeah.
Tell my story.
And it was so good.
I mean, I want to give it higher. I'd probably give it a 9.
Fickle.
Because Tony made the backstory for Candyman.
Yep. Yeah,
so like, I want to give it higher because like he really made that lore of the character that he played by himself, and it's just really well done enough that another director and another visionary, a writer, was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna keep that going."
Right.
They didn't try to like
retcon anything. Yeah, I love that, man.
Or alter it or nothing.
So
they just kept the same story because it was well put together. So I give it a 9.
Still getting a 10 from me.
It's not getting a 10 from me.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't want to.
Too much Helen.
Yeah, that's true. Like we got more Helen than Candyman, and I think at the end she basically becomes. Yeah, because she was getting cheated on with her husband, with one of his students, because he was a college professor, and like we knew it was happening because we saw it when they introduced the two characters. It was very obvious that they were cheating.
Right.
And then the moment she's institutionalized, because of course she's institutionalized because she believes Candyman is real and she out here murking people, but
she had like 3 bodies at that time.
Right. She's in an insane asylum, and she escapes, and she goes back to her home, and Stacy, the college student, is just booed up with her husband. She repainting the walls.
Ugly color.
Yeah, it was nasty. Like, I wouldn't want to stay there, but he was like, "Oh, is there something going on, sweet? Did you have another accident, sweetheart?" or something like that. And he just come out and see Helen. He just, oh my God, why are you here?
She had the worst cry.
She started crying the minute she saw Helen. Like, I didn't know she was crying when she was crying, if that makes sense. Because, like, she didn't look like she was crying.
Yeah, I knew what she was going for, but I was like, good God, is this bad? I know you're supposed to be crying, baby, but, like, this is not crying. This is
and
not
I can't even attribute that to 90s acting, because it's movies before the 90s that came out that had phenomenal actors. She just isn't one of them. Yeah. Like,
she was always going to be Stacy.
Yeah.
And stay Stacy.
Yeah. Because I don't know if she even had any. I don't even know if she had anything post Candyman.
I mean, I ain't gonna follow her career.
That's like true. That. She was bad, but yeah, like I wasn't invested in Helen's relationships to care that she was getting cheated on, because her husband looked like he was trash anyway. So him cheating was not surprising, and the fact that he was cheating when she was locked up, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, was it my phone was off or something like that, or I was sleeping?"
Yeah, he was out asleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Right, and it was obvious that he was a cheater. And our stance on cheating is, you trash if you cheating. But I just didn't care. Like, I would come up for him because she murks him at the end, and Stacy. And another thing on Stacy, she did? No. Oh no, she found my man's in there.
She might be going to jail, so I was like,
yeah,
kudos.
Yep.
Kudos.
But like, my whole thing with Stacy is, apart from her being like very bad at crying, she was mad that her boyfriend, whatever they were together, was sad that his wife died.
Yeah, she was.
And that he had just buried her. Like, yeah. I don't understand why you would be pissed that he don't want to come help you cook dinner when he just put his wife in the ground.
He like, I'll be there in a minute. And she was,
rolling her eyes, yeah, throwing meat, and I'm like,
he literally just like, yeah, he was cheating with you.
Right. He was still married to her though.
He still had feelings because he didn't divorce her.
Right.
So he still had some feelings for her, but
like he still cared about her, but not enough to
not cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and
moral of the story: don't cheat or Candyman coming after you.
People is like, unless like, I don't know. What I tell people who I know be cheating, like, or they, you know, the other person, I'm like, I'm trying to see how to word this. Where
She tiptoeing around it. Just say what you gonna say, man.
I'm trying to remember now, because now I done forgot.
We'll come back to it then.
Because when you be cheating, it be like, your girl forgot. Y'all see that in 4K.
real time. Yeah, real time, man.
Dang, that's
But yeah,
how the brain works.
if you like good horror, you don't actually have to go back to watch the original from the 90s. It has references in the sequel, but I feel like the sequel is good enough to stand on its own without you needing to see the original. I feel like you get more from the sequel if you watch the original, but you don't have to. But yep. So Waifu and Weeb both recommend it. So yeah, she's still struggling over here about what she was gonna say about the cheaters. But yeah, if you gonna cheat, just leave, bro. You don't have to cheat.
I can't remember what I was gonna say. That's gonna piss me off.
But yep. So Candyman, really good. Recommend it.
Yeah,
Go watch it.
What I'm saying. Like, I tell people, like, when you cheating, like, when you get that person, like they leave, like, so say I'm cheating on him, right? And he finally decides to leave, or I finally decide to leave, and now I'm with my side piece. Like, it, for a lot of people, it don't give the same thing. Like, cause it be that, allure of, like, we sneaking and all that.
Yeah, forbidden
and then when you
fruit.
finally get that person, you like, this why they significant other was acting like that. Like, that's why he wasn't around her like that, cause she kind of annoying. Cause now you gotta stay with them full time. Now you see them in all of their aspects. They not just giving you the good side. Now you see them in all of their glory. And like, that's what I be telling people. I'm like, you don't know what the other person is seeing.
Yeah, they're a side piece for a reason.
Yeah, like, you seeing what they telling you about somebody. Like, you getting their side of the story. Like, just sit down with both of them. Get the whole story. Right. Because something missing. But that's all I want to say. I couldn't remember it. Like, y'all seen that? Like, I was really like...
was irritated. Couldn't figure out. You like my man's with the wall where he tried to explain everything. Got all the string everywhere connecting the dots. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. Go check out Candyman if you haven't seen it. First one isn't required viewing, but I feel like you get a little bit more if you do watch the original first. But I feel like it does enough to stand on its own, so you could still enjoy it without seeing the first one, because I didn't see the first one before we watched it. Okay. But yeah, it was really good. I would recommend it.
Yeah, and it's so good. Like the sequel is so good to the point where even the credits are a part of the movie. Yeah,
it's that they did like, that was dope. Like
it's just tiny stuff that like so that. Good. That's like, this is what makes a movie solid. This is
and what then makes that was 10. Creepy. Yeah. Like it fit the overall theme of the movie, because you got so much lore, but it was interesting. It wasn't just an exposition dump where it was like this, and this happened, and now here we are. It's so it's done artistically very well.
Without being an art house, because I'm not a fan
of art house films. But yeah, it was. They did so much good stuff in this, man.
Like I recommend, because we probably gonna watch it again to like see if it's anything like we didn't pick up, because y'all know how Jordan is. Like, and even though Nia did it, like I know how he writes now, and he probably wrote it to the point where you need to go watch it a couple times. And I'm excited about Nope.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I don't remember when that comes out. Yeah, I'm down for anything Jordan has a hand in, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be good.
But yeah, so we recommend it. It's
highly
a really solid watch. It was a good time. If you like Candyman, you should like this. Yeah. But if you don't like Candyman, then don't blame us when you don't like Candyman. Because I hate people they like, I didn't like it because I don't like Candyman. So if you didn't like Candyman,
why would you go watch the sequel? I mean, maybe they went into it thinking it was going to be a reboot, despite being told it's not a reboot.
Even if it's a reboot, it's still Candyman.
That's true.
If you don't like Candyman stories, why watch a Candyman story?
Because the new one might be good.
That's like you don't like puppets. Why would you go to a puppet store?
You ain't going to no puppet store there around you.
Exactly. If you don't like Candyman originally,
People like to hate though. That's human nature.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying like don't blame the waifu and the weeb if you go in like, oh, they said it was gonna be good. If you don't like it,
come at me. I'm here.
I
want all the smoke.
I'm ready for all the smoke. Like,
you know what I'm saying? We here.
Come for him.
Come on them comments. Comments for the audio only listeners. Go to YouTube. Look us up. Blast me in the comments, cause I'm clapping back.
Anyway, whatever he's talking about, don't care. So guys, this was another successful episode. In our minds, it was successful. We don't really know what you guys feel, so tell us how you feel.
Yep.
Comment, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Waifu and the Weeb. Listen to us on all platforms. If you are audio only,
yep.
Ooh, that girl was like boom, 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 boom with them words. It was missing
it's
me.
Because she's an idiot.
Or maybe I get tongue tied easy.
Because she's an idiot.
I don't like you. Anywho, so until next time, guys, it's been real. It's your girl signing off. Waifu here. That guy.
Whoa. Weeb is out. Farewell.